Yo, welcome to the Vibe Provider podcast. I'm your host, Friel, and today's episode is we're doing a little debrief on the secret lives of Mormon wives. I have seen some of the cast on TikTok over the last couple of years. I didn't follow any of them. I didn't see much of their content, but I did see a few things, especially with the whole swinging scandal. I saw some things. I really didn't have any expectations for this reality TV show. I didn't really know who the main characters were. And I actually don't really watch reality TV. I never have. So I feel like this is like my real first reality TV show that I watched. So that's what the topic will be. But before we get into the topic, I always do like a life update, current hyperfixations, and I did want to apologize for not releasing an episode last week. Life got the best of me. I will say that. Poor time management, and it did not get recorded or edited. So I apologize, but hopefully I can make it up to you with this fun topic. I feel like this show is trending right now. Everyone's talking about it. So just wanted to like share my little thoughts with you guys about the show. But yeah, before we get into that, I'll share my life update. I've been documenting my outfits on my personal social media, which is Friel. And if you haven't listened to the previous episode, my friend Missy, who's been on the podcast before, is doing No Spend September, and she was just saying like I'm not going to be ordering clothes or anything. And I was like, oh, well, we should take this time and wear what we do have. And we make outfits with all our clothes, try not to rewear outfits. We can rewear certain items, but not same outfits again. Just because I feel like I am constantly washing the same clothes. I'm constantly re-wearing the same items, and I'm not wearing things in my closet. So we're just trying to like make outfits, see what we don't wear at the end of the month, and just go from there, kind of clear the closet. So I've been documenting my outfits. That's something I've still been keeping up with. But one crazy thing was Kala chipped his tooth, his front tooth, like I would say almost half of it off, which is crazy. He did it playing pickleball. He ran into a fence. Well, he went to go stop himself, but the fence was not connected to the top bar. So he kind of went through it, and then his head hit the fence, or his face, mouth area hit the fence, chipped his tooth right off. And we were leaving for Disney the next day at like 3:30 in the morning to get to the airport. And so luckily Kala works with dentists, and he was able to contact one. He was like trying to contact several. I was trying to help him, and he ended up finding a dentist that he works with that would fix his tooth that day so that we could like go on this trip. It was crazy. Luckily, it got fixed. It doesn't even look like anything happened. It was just so crazy, and it stressed me out so bad. But then we went to Disney. We went on like a friend trip. I've been going to Disney a lot this year. I went on a birthday trip with friends back in March. We all had March birthdays, so we were like, we should celebrate. We should do something. But while we were there, we ended up buying Magic Keys, which is kind of like a season pass. And so we've been going a lot as a group. But Kala is like not interested in getting a pass. He is not a super Disney person. He'll go like one time every couple of years. He's more of a beach goer, which I'm like, valid. But he did say, he's like, I'll go with the group either in Halloween time or Christmas time. So we decided to do Halloween. We went on this friend trip. It was a blast. And Kala came, and we did Disney one day. We did Disney California Adventure one day. And then we also did Boogie Bash. And it was my first time doing it. It's like a Halloween after dark event. You buy like a separate ticket for it. Only people who got a ticket for the event gets to stay in the park. And it was like trick-or-treating and some like Halloween parades, and some rides became like spookier, and it was a super fun time. It's mostly, I would say, trick or treating though. So I was like, oh man, kind of bummed because I thought it was going to be like so many things to do and see. But I will say it also felt like it was flying by. It was from 6 to 11, but I feel like it was over in a second and then we were like going home. So I am so sad that it went by so fast. I feel like we had so many more things to do and see. But overall, it was so fun. Some friends and I wore villain t-shirts and we all picked like a villain. Kala was Shan Yu from Mulan and I was Evil Queen. And then, yeah, so it was so fun. We all had matching shirts. It was so cute. We kind of got a lot of candy for like only going through like one or like 2 to 4 lines of trick-or-treating. So that's crazy. They just be handing it out and they hand out the good stuff too. So that's so exciting. Um, yeah, so it was a fun. Oh, one thing about Disney though is they had a lot of like seasonal things on all the menus all over the place. And I bought a guide of like some Disney person compiled a list of all the holiday Halloween treats and foods you could get at the park, and I bought it and I printed it out and we were trying like all the things. So I will say we were like on a whole food tour. It was amazing. So one of the best things we had was it was cheesy garlic pretzel bread. And they made a new version of it with a brat in it. So it's kind of like cheesy garlic pretzel bread with a brat in it. So you eat it like a hot dog now. And Kala was loving it. So it was fun. He like has been thinking about it ever since we left, but that was Kala's favorite thing. My favorite thing was probably just the regular garlic cheesy pretzel bread. It's kind of like just a warm, gooey, yummy, like not treat, but like salty, buttery snack, and it was so good. Um, but yeah, I feel like I bought. Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you this. There was like a heat front going through California while we were there, and I ended up getting heat rash like all across my chest and my legs from on the first day. It was like 107. We were sweating so bad. But the thing was, we were like still drinking plenty of water and like standing in the shade and like trying to cool down. But that first night I got home and I just saw this heat rash all over me and I was like, what the heck? So the next day we tried to take it a little easier. I didn't end up getting heat rash, but it was brutal. It was so hot. I've never been to Disneyland when it was that hot. I've been when it's warm. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sweating a little bit, but this was like brutal. So that was kind of a bummer, but we still had a blast. We still had a great time regardless. But what I was going to say before that was I was buying ears. I feel like that's what I was buying this trip were Halloween ears. I was loving it. So I brought back a lot of mini ears, but we did end up getting a bonsai bowl before we left for the airport. It was delicious. Because this is a bonsai bowl fan page at this point. If we are in Hawaii or California, we will be getting bonsai bowls. So, but we got home, we were getting back in the groove. And I decorated for Halloween this year. I feel like I feel like I didn't end up decorating last year, but this year I got like a cute little setup on my mantle. I have some cute little bats like going across my fireplace, and then I put my pumpkin wreath on the door. So I'm feeling festive, I'm feeling fun, I'm excited for fall. I need to make like a bucket list to make sure and like do the fun things. My friend Casey, she did a fall bucket list, and so she made me want to make my own. So shout out to Casey for being the inspo always. But I made my first crock pot meal of the season and it was good. We made like shredded chicken burrito bowls. I was trying to do like a little Chipotle action for dinner. It turned out super good. I am someone who likes the crock pot. I know some people hate crock pot meals, but I'm a fan. I love that. I just put it in there, wait a couple hours, and then dinner's ready. I'm all for that. So I will be busting out the crock pot more, but we did do our first crock pot meal of the season, people. And then other than that, my parents are in town. They came into town to meet up with some of their friends they met on their mission in New York City. So that's cool that they're meeting up and like seeing their old friends. And we're just hanging. Nothing crazy, but that's all for my life update. For my current hyperfixation, number one being my new sweetie PJs. If you follow me on Instagram on my personal Caitlin Friel, I posted about these super cute hot pink striped PJs and I am obsessed. I got them from Shop Sweetie. Their website is sweetieshop.com. SWEDIESHOP.com. And they sell like a lot of towels. They sell microfiber towels, and that's how I found this company. Was I love microfiber beach towels. And then they actually came out with PJs and minky blankets. And so I got a pair of PJs, and they come in like 6 sizes from extra small to 2X. And they are the best. They're called like bamboo PJs. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. All I know is that they're light and buttery and stretchy and perfect. And the best part is that they're short sleeves. They have long pants but short sleeve top, and I love that because I feel like my sleeves just get bunched up in my sleep anyways. So I love that they're short sleeved. The bottoms, I'm 5'10", and they like are the perfect length. They like barely touch the ground. They have pockets, drawstring. They're so great. I don't like get too hot when I wear them to sleep. They are perfect. They're perfect. And that's why they're my new hyperfixation. I'm actually sad to put them in the wash because then I can't wear them. I guess I'd have to wash them in the beginning of the day, take them off, wash them, dry them, then wear them at night. So I literally am okay. I'm fine. But my obsessive personality is making me want to buy the other 3 colors. So that's something I'm dealing with. But if you did want to give the PJs a try, I actually have a code. It's Caitlin25 for 25% off. I don't get like an affiliate or anything. That's literally just for you to have a percentage off. So we love Shop Sweetie for giving me the code. I use it myself just to get a discount. I love getting a discount on things that I'm going to be purchasing anyways. So that's the first thing. The second thing I actually talked about as a current hyperfixation a couple of weeks ago. It was that I ordered the Dylan platform Crocs in the color lava. I got them. They're amazing. I've probably worn them every day since getting them. They seriously match everything, which is so crazy because they're such a bright, bold color. I am obsessed. It's like I don't own any other shoes because I just want to wear those. So I will let you like, this is me telling you, give them a try. I'm obsessed. Okay. And then I got 2 more things, but it makes sense because ADHD people love hyperfixating on all the things. But I've been seeing people's hauls from Marshalls and just thrifting, and people are finding the best things. Like, these people are finding like free people things from Marshalls. Thrifting, they're finding like, oh gosh, dude, everything. And it makes me want to go, but it's like, I know I'm not going to find anything. So I see all these hauls from people thrifting or going to Marshalls, and it just makes me want to go so bad. But then anytime I go, there's like nothing, or I'm just bad at looking. I don't know. But anyways, I've been like always thinking, oh shit, I need to go to Marshalls. I never have even been to Marshalls, probably once, twice, maybe. But yeah, I don't even know where a Marshalls is. I don't even know where a Marshalls is. Anyways, and thrifting is so overwhelming. I go in hopes to like get a huge haul, and like I walk out with nothing. Sometimes I get a good book or 2, but I do love thrifting books. I will say that. Okay, lastly, scrapbooking. I've been talking about scrapbooking for the last couple of episodes, but your girl finally pulled the trigger. I got a scrapbook, I got some paper, and I ordered some prints from Shutterfly. I don't know if that's the cheapest option or what, but I did order some 4x6s from Shutterfly, and I'm going to be scrapbooking. I got the prints in the mail today, and I told myself I couldn't touch the scrapbook until this episode is recorded and edited. So Look at me go. But anyways, so I'm excited to finally start scrapbooking, and I can't wait to tell you how it comes together. Hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully I don't screw it up and then I hate it, but we'll see. Okay. We got through that. That was a lot. I was yapping. I was talking for a hot minute. Okay, but today's episode is just like a debrief on the secret lives of Mormon wives. It's on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, I'm so sorry. Maybe this is where we say goodbye in the episode because you're not gonna have any idea what I'm talking about. But I've seen a few of these people on TikTok here and there. I didn't really know any of them before watching the show. And yeah, that's about it. Like, didn't really know what to expect. I thought this was gonna be like more about like the church and the women in it and whatnot, but surprisingly it wasn't. I feel like it didn't really talk about, like, they tried to make it like about the LDS religion, but like it just wasn't. I mean, in my opinion, I wasn't really thinking about like the church when watching it. So I will say that. Okay. But I feel like I'm going to start off by like talking about each cast member, and then honestly, we'll see where that goes. The first one being Taylor. I probably have seen her TikToks the most out of everyone. There's some people I had no idea who they were before the show. But Taylor, I thought she was going to be the worst one. I thought she was going to be annoying and the worst, and I don't know. But surprisingly, she ended up being actually one of my favorite people from the show. She, I feel like, is super self-aware. Some bad stuff happens to her, like with the swinging scandal and her divorce, and then she actually goes to jail for like physical abuse with her boyfriend. So like she hits rock bottom. She is just trying to like make better of her life after all of this, and then she's dating this guy and they get pregnant. And yeah, I feel like she takes accountability of everything, of her actions. She understands she has like a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff to work through. Yeah, and then so she gets pregnant and she just doesn't want to get married right away with the dad because, like I said, she has a lot of stuff she needs to work through. She's not trying to rush into marriage again. Yeah. And then I feel like she's super cool. I feel like people really hated her boyfriend, and at first I really didn't understand why. I didn't think he was all that bad, but I will say, as the episodes went on, I was like not a fan of her boyfriend. But I will say I feel like she's pretty cool. She's one of my favorites from the show. She totally I love that she owned her stuff. I think being self-aware is like not very common these days. So it was like refreshing to see her be like, yeah, dude, I am just recovering from hitting rock bottom. And that's pretty much her. But her boyfriend Dakota, like I said, I was wondering why everyone hated him at first, and I understood more towards the middle and the end of the season. That dude low-key sucks. And I hate that he keeps bugging Taylor to marry him. And she is constantly telling him like, hey dude, like I don't really trust you. I feel like in the beginning of our relationship, you slept with like someone else and I wasn't aware that like we were seeing other people, etc. And yeah, dude, so they get pregnant and she's excited for this baby, but she's not trying to rush into marriage. And he's constantly like, they're always arguing about like how they just need to get married, and she's constantly telling him that she's not ready. And it's just frustrating to me because I'm like, dude, why aren't you listening? Just listen. Like she said, hold off. I feel like if you respect her enough, you'll like understand and take things slow and let the baby get here and like fall into a routine. And like he says that he needed to work on a lot of things himself. Like he is a recovering drug addict and things like that. So I feel like Taylor's so self-aware that like they both have so much they need to work on before like they can even like give each other like like a fair fight, and I totally respect that of her. But yeah, Dakota just bugs. I'm like, dude, relax, just listen. I feel like he's not listening. He doesn't care. He just like wants what he wants, and to me that's like red flag. I hate it. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of Dakota. So hopefully in the next, if they're in the next season, that like we see him like come a long way, because if he's still like bugging her to get married, I just want her to like leave him because that's annoying. Okay, the next person is Layla. um I feel like she's just there. She is super chill. um I feel like they show her a few times about like how she has her divorce party. um and yeah, about how like she's getting divorced and she's the single one. And I thought it was so cringe when they were trying to like set her up with a guy at her divorce party, and the guy seemed so like not, what's the word, um he just was not, he was like camera shy or something. He was just quiet. It was awkward. It was so cringe I couldn't even watch. And she was like awkward. It was, yeah. Um yeah, I don't really have too much to say. I feel like she was just there. She didn't say much, but like, but she was there. She was like going to all the things. But yeah, I feel like I don't really have much to say about her. She was just like not like a background character, but just there, going to all the things, listening, contributing here and there, but nothing crazy. So Jessie, I actually thought I was gonna like her the least. I saw some TikToks prior to the show saying like she's not even Mormon, etc. But I don't think that really even matters, because like I don't think they really like, it's not as churchy as I thought it would be. Like they make things, like they say things here and there about like, oh, a Mormon wife this, a Mormon wife that. Um but like everyone is so different, and like everyone's life is so different that it's hard to like compare. I don't know. I like really don't have much to say about like the religious side of things. Um I was just like floored about just like how some of these people live. And we'll get to that. Um but okay, so she's so I guess she's not Mormon, but I have no idea. Um But I thought I was going to, like I said, I thought I was going to like her the least, but she ended up being like towards the top of the people I liked. Which is crazy. I feel like she was kind of cringe, but I feel like she's the most perfect one of all of them for reality TV. I feel like she did everything for the plot, like with taking the girls on a girls trip to Vegas, for bringing the flask to a graduation party, etc. So she's perfect for reality TV. Um, but I love that she told people what they needed to hear. Especially, I'm talking about the part where she told Whitney. Gosh, where was it? Was it at Layla's divorce party? And she kind of like told her off, like, dude, you're kind of the worst. No one can trust you. Everyone's talking behind your back. And I was like, yes, queen. We need everyone to be telling Whitney what she needs to hear, because she's delusional. So we love Jessie for doing that. Um, but yeah, I think it's cool that like she's always like hooking up all the girls with like doing their hair and things like that. I feel like she's really giving, but I think it's cool that she like uses her talents to like hook up her friends, like when she does their hair, or when she had them come to the salon and they all got blowouts. I think that's super cool. I think that's super nice. And then like footing the bill for most of the trip for Las Vegas, I feel like. So she's cool. She's a real one. Macy, love her. She's a good friend. She's probably the chillest out of all of them. Um, I think it's weird that she's such good friends with Whitney, because that's like a red flag to me, because I don't like Whitney, and we'll get to that. Um, and like she wants like everything to work out with Whitney and the friend group and everything. So I'm kind of like, girl, why? Um, but anyways, I also think it was weird how they were trying to force her and Dakota to like each other. To me that just doesn't seem natural. I don't think you need to like someone. I think if you don't like one of your friend's spouses, it's fine. Like I don't think it's the end of the world. Um And like a lot of these things are probably done for the show. I don't know like what's staged, what isn't. But yeah, I don't, it just doesn't feel authentic. It feels weird that they're constantly bringing up that Macy doesn't like Taylor's boyfriend, Dakota. I mean, no one does. So why does Macy need to like him? You know what I mean? Um, but anyways, yeah, I really like her. She's chill. She's a good friend. I feel like she's one of the main character girls. I feel like, yeah, I feel like she's so level. Um, I really liked her. I really don't have much to say except about the weirdness with like the show trying to make her and Dakota like each other. I feel like she's valid in not liking him, so Michaela. I feel like she's similar to Layla, seems chill. Doesn't really say anything, isn't super dramatic. Her backstory though is kind of crazy. They say that she gets pregnant at 16 and her husband at the time was 21. So that doesn't feel right. But then I've also seen some of Michaela's TikToks before the show came out, and her husband was always like, I don't know, like never interested in filming with her. And that's fine if like spouses don't want to like be a part of your social media. Um, but like he makes it weird where it's like almost like he doesn't even like her, which is so weird to me. Um, but yeah, she's a lot like Layla where like she doesn't really say much. I will say she says a little bit more than Layla, I would say. But she's kind of in the background. She's kind of just going with the flow, doing all the things. I really like her a lot. Yeah, she's chill. She's I feel like one of the good ones. Oh, Jen. Oh, I didn't really know what to think about her. I feel like she was a little bit judgy for sure. I feel like yeah, I feel like, when you're friends, you just like accept them as they are. And so it's kind of weird that she uninvited them to a baby blessing because a baby blessing is sacred and she only wants like the best of her, the best of her friend group, and she only wants certain friends at the baby blessing. And I don't really know what to say about that because it's like, dude, this is reality TV. You're portraying that you're about to bless your baby on television, which is like, that's not very sacred. And I'm assuming that they staged that. I'm sure they blessed the baby at church and they were just like acting like it for the plot. And so I didn't really look into it too much. Um, but yeah, I feel like if you just tell your friends, hey, this is a super special day, let's just make sure it's all about the baby and that we have like a good time and that like, yeah, like no funny business goes down. And then you let your friends prove it to you when they show up. You kind of give them the benefit of the doubt that they are going to act appropriately at certain functions. So, and I feel like that's just giving your friends like the heads up, like this is what I expect. I've known you guys to do things in the past, but just let's make sure it doesn't happen here at the baby blessing. And then you invite all your friends. And if they do something terrible, then you can just say, "Hey, I trusted you, you broke my trust. You will not be coming to any of my events here on out." You know what I mean? So, anyways, I do feel like it was weird that she only invited some, and then that's when the rift of the saints and sinners started happening. For me, I want the whole friend group feeling involved and included. So I don't know. I probably would be super, if I was a part of this group, I'd start feeling anxious that's like becoming divided. I want everyone to feel included, wanted. And so, anyways, I'm sure they did it for the show. But I'm just saying how I would feel if I was in the situation. Um, okay, so I hate Jen's husband. I think he's the worst. He's probably the most. Him and Whitney are probably my least favorite, even more than Dakota. So what happens with that is they go to Las Vegas on a girls' trip, and I don't know why he ends up coming on the trip, but he does. And he's gambling for most of the night. He's gambling her money, and then she is with the girls, and Jesse surprises them with tickets for someone's birthday to go to Chippendales. And she feels super uncomfortable. She's like, "Oh, Zach wouldn't want me to be here. I just know, like, I gotta go home. Anyways, but before she leaves, she like is trying to be like, hey, I'm so sorry. They surprised us at Chippendales. I had no idea we were coming here. And then he just like rips her apart. He emotionally and mentally is abusing her over the phone and over text. Um, while he was just gambling the night away with her money. And I'm like, okay, well, gambling is like not something the church really promotes or wants their members doing. Um, and yeah, I just like I don't know. So it just feels like I don't know, hypocritical that he was like coming at her character when it's like, dude, you got to like look at yourself too and how you're treating your wife. Like no one should be treating their wife like that. Anyways, so I just want to know like what his parents thought when if they've seen the show, what they thought of that. What they thought of their son treating his wife. Like if that was my son, I would be like devastated. I would be embarrassed. I would feel like I have failed. So I'm just so, I don't know. It's crazy that he acted like that and like the world got to see it. And I just want to know like what he thinks of it all. If he like knows he messed up, if what he knows what he did was wrong. Anyways, just I'm so baffled at his behavior towards his wife. I feel so bad for her. And there's like a time that she said like he like is the only person that loves me the most, and I'm like, girly, you got married super young. Like how do you even know that? So just crazy. I'm not a fan of her. I just like I don't know, I just don't vibe with Jen. I don't think she's a bad person or anything. I just feel bad for her and the marriage that she's in, and she's just like not one of my favorites. Demi. I think she's similar to Jessie. She says it how it is. She told people what they needed to hear, especially when she was like coming for Whitney in the closet at their Park City trip. I was like, bless Demi, keep going. Tell her. Like, and then Whitney, yeah, just cried and ran away. So that's bizarre. Um, yeah. I feel like she would get like super heated like super quickly. I feel like we all have like friends like that. I mean, I don't know if I have one personally, but I feel like we all know a Demi, I guess, who's just like outspoken, says it how it is and things like that. But yeah, I liked her. I yeah. I thought her story was kind of crazy how she ended up marrying like that family friend and he's like almost 50 and she's almost 30. That's crazy, but I mean, I feel like we all know someone who's married to like a much older person. Seems like they make it work. Seems like things are good. I will say she's like probably the spiciest one, her and Jessie, but I would say Demi is a little bit more spicy. But yeah, I feel like I don't have too much to say. I will say though, she seemed a little hypocritical when she did the truth box and how it came out that she had called Taylor white trash. And then Taylor was like, oh, so like I guess there was this time in the show where like she was getting mic'd up and she dropped the top of her dress and like her like boobs were out. She was only wearing a bra on top and like Dakota and Taylor were in the room to get mic'd up too. And so Taylor was like, oh my gosh, my boyfriend's seeing this. And she's like, so that's not white trash? Like, dropping your top when like a guy's in the room. And then she was like, no. And like, I think Taylor was like giving other examples. And Demi was like, no, that's not white trash. And I'm like, there's things that you're saying about Taylor that are white trash that I feel like Taylor's making a good point is all I'm trying to say. And so I felt like Demi was like, oh, nothing I do is white trash. Only things that Taylor does is white trash. Is kind of like how I took it. But anyways, it's not that serious. But okay. Whitney is my last person that I have. And she's the villain for sure. And I don't know like if they edited the show to make her look like the villain. I feel like there's been like a little bit of speculation that she's like, oh, that's not how I remember it. And things like that. But I feel like it's really hard to make someone a villain. Like I feel like she made it easy for them to make her look like the villain then or whatever, but I don't like her at all. I think her husband's super weird as well. I was like not a fan of him. He was giving me like weird vibes. I feel like he was always trying to like I don't know. I feel like when he went to Layla's divorce party and like had slick back hair one time, and I was like, dude, just pick a vibe, like pick a look. I feel like every time we saw him, it was like being someone else is what I felt like. But I'm just wondering how they met, like her and her husband, because I feel like they're a weird match. Um, yeah, giving me weird vibes, but um yeah, she runs away from all her problems. She was like having a discussion with like Demi and Taylor, and then she just runs away and goes sits in the closet. And then everyone comes up there and is like, why is Whitney crying? Like she was like trying to be a tough girl and be like, I meant what I said. And then they call her on it, and then she cries and runs. Like how the swinging scandal happened, and then she like moves to Hawaii for 2 months, comes back, and then yeah, anytime something gets hard, she cries and runs away. And she truly believes she's not the problem, and that's the craziest of it all. But yeah, I love when Demi calls her out in the Park City episode, and Jesse calls her out, I think at Layla's party, I want to say, and just like them calling her two-faced and like, yeah, dude, like everyone talks about you behind your back because you're like so crazy. Um, yeah, and she just thinks she's not the problem. I will say though, she leaves the group chat after something, I can't remember what, and she's like telling her husband like, I didn't leave the chat so like people would like be like, oh, what's wrong, what's up, like why did you leave? But then she goes and tells her husband like, but no one reached out to me. So it's like, okay, so you did do that to seek attention. So it's just like so many red flags with her, and she's just like, she's scared of people's, oh, what's it called, she's scared of people being better than her or like having more success than her. Um like they talked about like how she's jealous of Taylor's clout. And that's the thing, like Taylor's clout's like not even like, it's because she got caught in a swinging scandal and then divorced, and then yeah, it's like Taylor's like, dude, I'm literally picking up the pieces of my life from hitting rock bottom. Anyways, it's just crazy. Um, but I feel like Taylor actually tries to be her friend in the series, and then Whitney's just like, I can't be friends with you. I can't be friends. Like, for why? For why? I feel like Taylor's actually trying, and then Whitney's just like, I can't be your friend. And I really don't understand why, but I feel she makes it super known she just can't be Taylor's friend. And to me, that's weird. But another thing is her missing Taylor's business launch. And Macy's her only friend, I feel like. She's the only one that actually cares to like try and keep Whitney in the group and, you know, keep Whitney as a friend. And then she doesn't go to her thing because she feels like, she tells her like, oh, I needed to like remove myself from the group, like it's not healthy for me. And anyways, so I will say, I feel like that was so messed up. I feel like that was super low as a friend and self-centered. Um, but then, yeah, then she like tries, she's always making up excuses, and it's always just like, dude, stop thinking of yourself. Missing her launch was super low as a friend and super self-centered, I would say. But yeah, then she like wants to start a homestead, but then like doesn't want any animals, and that makes no sense to me. So I'm like, she just wants to act like she's like trying to disconnect from mom talk, when I feel like her only thing is to like, she's just wants to be a part of mom talk, but no one else wants her to be. So she's like, oh, I just want to like disconnect and like start a homestead. And I'm like, again, running away from your problems. But I will say this is like my first time really watching reality TV, and I liked it. I think it was not as crazy as I thought it would be. But I'm excited to see season 2 and to see like if all the girls come back for season 2, or if like some of them will step away. I have no idea, but I hope that they release a season 2. I feel like it was entertaining enough to watch. I'm curious to see if you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. and what your thoughts were. I'll have to make a post and then we can like talk in the comments. But anyways, thanks again for listening. I appreciate you, and we'll chat again next week. Bye.